What if I told you the real survival skill isn't food, it isn't water, or even weapons? It's discipline. Because when things fall apart, the people who survive won't just be the ones with the supplies, they'll be the ones who can control themselves. And that's where most preppers get it wrong. Peace, I'm the Modest Prepper, where we focus on proactive preparedness. Now, today we're talking about something most survival channels don't discuss: self-control. Because you can have 6 months of food stored, you can have medicine, you can have weapons, but if you do not have discipline, you might burn through everything in 30 days and then that's it. So a lot of people think prepping means buying bulk rice and food, stocking it up, filling your freezers, buying emergency gear. But preparedness isn't about panic shopping. It's about long-term thinking. And long-term thinking requires restraint. And if you can't resist overeating now, it's going to be hard for you to do it when you have to. If you can't manage your health now, then it's going to be extremely hard when it's time to. If you can't rotate your food every 3 to 6 months now, it's going to get a little harder. So supplies alone won't save us. So we have to understand food discipline is survival. So let's talk about something uncomfortable. Now, many emergency foods are high in sodium. Matter of fact, a lot of people buy survival food and just to buy it and they store it away and don't even bother to taste it. And when it comes the time where you're going to have to eat it, you may find out it's not that good, number one. Number two, it's full of high in sodium. And number three, you don't get the nutrients necessary. It'll have high sugar. It'll be highly processed. And when you think about it, nearly half of the U.S. adults have high blood pressure. Millions have diabetes. So if crisis hits and your diet becomes even worse than it is now, then your own body will be the emergency. So a smart prepper doesn't just stock food. They stock food that sustains their life. And just for a list of those items to stock, just check out my video about halal pantry items to stock up on. But I want us to know that preparedness starts in the pantry, but it continues in our habits. Now, the next part of this is survival training. Now, I talked in the last video about how Ramadan is survival training. You can go back and look at that video. But this is something powerful that many people overlook. As we are in Ramadan now, we practice controlled eating. We practice patience and discomfort, emotional restraint, and gratitude during scarcity. That's survival training. You learn that you don't need to eat constantly. You don't need to panic when you're hungry, and you can focus and function with less. That's mental control. That's what's going to carry us through hard times. And another thing we have to have is discipline in the home. So real preparedness means rotating food out, keeping inventory, not touching the emergency stock just for convenience. Sometimes you got to just go to the store and get what you need and not touching that emergency stock. Because next thing you know, you run through it, and then when you need it, you realize you've been ciphering off your emergency kit. And now you have limit to none left. Practicing drills that we have calmly and budgeting intentionally. Now, let's get into this a little bit. What do I mean by budget? I mean, don't spend what you don't have. Just because we have a credit card with the amount on there doesn't mean we have it. A good practice is if you don't have the money in your account to buy it 3 times, you probably shouldn't buy it. And I'm just speaking of the frivolous things. We know the things that we buy that we really don't need. Extra clothes, extra shoes, that snack that we really don't need. We know our own habits, and I can speak for myself. We got to learn how to stop buying the things that we don't need. Now, another tip about money. We have to keep cash on hand in small bills. Don't rely just on the banking system, because we have seen that it can fail. We have to learn how to research what happened in the past. Thinking about the Great Depression, do we not think it can repeat itself? Do we think we're invincible? We're not. We have to learn how to be smart. So have small bills on hand in case you need it. Small bills on hand in case, something happens where they don't take credit cards and you're forced to use cash to buy the things you need. In the book Fall of America, I want to go into this a little bit. It says in this book, the stronghold of the American government is falling to pieces. She has lost her prestige among the nations of the earth. One of the greatest powers of America was, past tense, her dollar. The loss of such power will bring any nation to weakness, for this is the medium of exchange between nations. The English pound and the American dollar have been the power and beckoning light of these two great powers, America and the United Kingdom. But when the world went off the gold and silver standard, the financial doom of England and America was sealed. So I would advise us getting this book. It's called The Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's definitely a must read because to me, it's like I'm reading the newspaper of what's happening today. And Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he spoke in a series called The Time and What Must Be Done. And he spoke on the book of Revelations where he said, it prophesies the fall of a great power known as Mystery Babylon, an empire that would appear at the end of times, at the end of this system of things. Pharaoh was wealthy and he made a false promise to the slaves that they were going to partake of his wealth and nearness to him. And Pharaoh's wealth had to be destroyed in order for the children of Israel to recognize that Pharaoh didn't have their future. So the wealth of America has to be destroyed so that you don't think anymore that they have your future. Now, I'm going to hop off the soapbox a little bit. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But I want us to understand when we're talking about this is very serious. We don't have to be fearful. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be consistent. Because most people, they prepare emotionally. Smart preppers, they prepare strategically. And you have to understand, we have to understand that scarcity doesn't kill, panic does. And in a crisis, people don't run out on food on day one. They panic, they overeat, they waste, they lose structure, and they make impulsive decisions. And discipline, it preserves resources. Discipline protects health. Discipline keeps families calm, and discipline is a spiritual muscle. So why does this matter now? We are in a time where convenience is constant. Food is everywhere. Discomfort is avoided at all costs. But when hardship comes, even small hardship, it feels overwhelming. But if we practice controlled eating, water awareness, budget restraint, emergency drills, and inventory management, then hardship, it doesn't shock you. You've trained for it. So that's the mindset we want to have. And at the Modest Prepper, that's why I like to say preparedness isn't fear-based. It is faith-based. It's calm. It's structured. It's intentional. So we prepare not just because of the potential of chaos, but because discipline is a part of stewardship. We take care of what we've been given, and we prepare so that way we don't become a burden during a crisis. So please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. As always, this is the Modest Prepper reminding you to take care, stay grateful, and prep with intention.